And we're live from the living room as Doug eyes up the matchday spread. He's reaching for the buffalo wing. Perfect! Hang on, what's this? Oh, he's gone for a can of Pepsi too! Incredible! What a finish! Sensational combination! Look at the delight on his face. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a pack of Pepsi Zero Sugar for today's match. It's poetry in motion.
Never go to the second location. Always trust your gut.
Hello, my name is Chrissy Champagne, and you are listening to Residue, a true crime podcast dedicated to keeping you paranoid. On Residue, we tell you the truth behind your favorite movies, and today we are talking about the movie When Love Kills, the Falicia Blakely Story. And do not forget, you can follow Residue on Instagram at Residue Podcast, TikTok at Residue, a true crime podcast, and Facebook, Residue, a true crime podcast. And the greatest thing you could possibly do for any podcast that you love is leave a positive review. It would also be super cool if you guys could hit that follow button and meet me back here every single Tuesday. And also, I'm going to be adding extra episodes to your weekly rotation, so you do not want to miss out on that. Thank you all for being here today. You know I like to keep it short and sweet. So before we begin, do not forget that listener discretion is always advised. When Love Kills, the Falicia Blakely Story is a 2017 crime drama directed by Tasha Smith in her feature directorial debut. And the film is based on the real-life story of Falicia Blakely, a teenage mother whose life takes a tragic turn after becoming involved with a manipulative and abusive man named Dino. In June of 2017, the film first premiered at the American Black Film Festival, and then it later premiered on TV One in August of 2017. And the film does receive positive reviews from critics. It also received 2 nominations at the 49th NAACP Image Awards. When Love Kills became one of TV One's highest-rated original movies. Nyesha Jessica Kirkland, also known as Lil Mama, stars as Falicia Blakely. She is absolutely phenomenal in this role, even receiving many positive reviews for her performance. And as I said, the film was also nominated at the 49th NAACP Image Awards. They received a nomination for Outstanding Television Movie, Limited Series or Dramatic Special, also Outstanding Writing in a Television Movie or Special, and the writer of this film was Cass Seeger's Beatles. Now, as I said, actress Tasha Smith, this was her directorial debut. She spoke with NewYorkPost.com back when the film came out, and she said that she was drawn to making this movie in order to examine how a woman could commit crimes, not only against other people, but against herself. She stated that art is important because sometimes you have to see the state of a culture or an experience. And through filmmaking, we get to deliver a message. Some people may watch the movie and say, wow, I never want to be a Falicia. Let me be careful. Let me take care of myself and be as healthy as I can be so that I can acknowledge the kind of love I'm allowed to have. Now, back in 2017, Aisha Adams posted an article titled Behind When Love Kills, Meet the Real Falicia Blakely. And this was posted to nappythoughts.com. And you know, I always have my sources listed in the show notes. So Falicia did an interview, and one of the questions that Aisha asked her was, your story is so personal and you have been through a lot. What made you decide to share your story with the world? And Falicia answers, I'm not the one who decided to share it with the world. Mrs. Cassandra Beatles is. She had been following my story since 2004, and once she saw the For My Man segment, she proposed a script to TV One and they accepted it, and the rest was history. Now, I also have the link to the TV docuseries For My Man in the show notes if you wanted to take a look at that episode. Aisha Adams asks Falicia how the book and the movie changed her life. And Falicia responds, I really can't say that my life has changed except for the fact that God is allowing me to speak with more people all over the United States about the dangers and possibilities of being liberated from domestic violence and human trafficking. Where I once just had the chance to tell those I came in contact with, now TV One has made a platform for me to hopefully save our daughters, maybe even our sons too. Falicia is asked how it feels watching your life play out on the big screen, and what did she hope that women would walk away with after watching this movie. She answers, seeing the movie was emotional. It's so sad how naive I was, how my mind was manipulated. I hope that women, young ladies, and teenage girls can see how we give way too much of ourselves to men, to people in general. We accommodate to the point we lose sight of ourselves, and then we're left to figure out how to move forward with our lives once that individual is out of the picture. I hope they can look at me and see the importance of being careful who you love. Not everybody deserves your love. Some people are in love with the idea of being in love. If you're the only one giving and making an effort in the relationship, it's probably not worth having. It isn't a part of your destiny anyways. Where God is taking you, that deadbeat can't go. August 15th, 2002, Atlanta, Georgia. 30-year-old Carlita Knox is getting ready to go out for a fun night with her brother, Ray. Raymond Ray Goodwin was 34 years old. He was born in 1968 in Birmingham, Alabama, to a single mom raising 5 kids. And now Ray was the middle child, and he was a little helper. Ray was in the school band. He loved school. He loved music. He was extremely close to his sister, Carlita. I mean, he was close to all of his siblings, but especially close to Carlita. They were the 2 youngest, so they were bonded. They were best friends. And by the late 90s, some of the siblings moved to Atlanta, Georgia. Carlita and Ray did end up in Atlanta, Georgia. And Carlita says that she got into the adult entertainment business and she was doing a fantastic job. She was killing it. She was like the queen of the scene. And soon Ray wants to get involved with that. And Ray always had this lifelong photography passion. He wanted to quit his job and start building this photography business. And Carlita cheers him on. She's like, listen, I have the greatest idea. I have all these friends who are dancers. The girls need photographs done. So Ray ends up becoming a part of the entertainment scene, and he really starts thriving. Like, he builds his business from the ground up. Everybody wants their pictures taken by Ray. I mean, Ray is working with some of the best dancers in the most high-end clubs in Atlanta. And while working this scene, Ray meets Claudel Christmas, aka Doc. Doc was a cool, chill guy. Everyone loved Doc, and he quickly becomes best friends with Ray and Carlita. All of his friends say he was a giving person, a caring person. He had lots of energy, and if you were around him, you were going to have a good time. Now, on this night in 2002, Carlita thinks that she's going over to her brother's house to hang out. And a lot of people were planning on going over there to chill, maybe have a little barbecue, grill some steaks, and then go out on the town for the night. So she's getting ready when she receives a phone call from one of their friends named G. And G was one of Doc's best friends. So G calls Carlita and he's like, hey, listen, I was just on the phone with Doc. Doc is at your brother Ray's house and I hear all these gunshots. I'm like freaking out. I don't understand what's going on. Doc stops answering me and then I can hear 2 what seem to be females in the background going, get the money, get the money. And at first, Carlita isn't freaking out about this phone call. She thinks, it's cool. Let's chill. Let's get to Ray's house. Let's figure out what's going on. She starts calling her brother. She starts calling Doc. There's no answer. And now she's getting very anxious. She's losing it a little bit. Her friend Sam comes over, picks her up, and her and Sam drive on over to her brother Ray's apartment. Now they arrive at the apartment. Sam's like, you stay in the car. Because as they pull in, they realize that Ray's front door is a bit open. And so Sam walks up the steps, goes in the front door. He looks at Carlita and he just says, do not come in here. It's not good. They're dead. The bodies of Raymond Goodwin at age 34 and Claudel Doc Christmas, only age 35, are discovered in Raymond Goodwin's apartment by his sister and a friend on August 15th, 2002. Police arrive on the scene and they realize that there's no forced entry. It seemed as if the victims knew who did this, and it seemed like they were having an innocent party before any of this happened. They found both victims deceased in the living room. One of the victims was on the couch and one was on the floor. Both victims were shot with a .32 caliber gun, and there are absolutely no leads. And only 2 days later, a man named Demetrius Michi Twitty at age 29 was found shot and killed in his Atlanta apartment, and police discovered the same scene. No forced entry. Police discover the same .32 caliber shell casings in the apartment, and now they're thinking 3 murders, the same county. These murders are 2 days apart. We have the same .32 caliber shell casings, so are we looking for the same suspects? Now, another similarity between both crime scenes is that all 3 victims were robbed. Their cash was stolen, and Michi, he was this beloved figure in the community. He was a barber, and he would do these on-demand haircuts for people. So he always had cash on him. And they noticed that not only does Michi have cash missing from his apartment, but his car is also missing. So at first glance to the detectives, this looks like it might be part of this string of robberies that was happening around Atlanta at this time. Because during this time frame, the adult entertainment industry was booming. And this is according to an Oxygen.com article. People would want to rob the men that were going into these strip clubs because they knew these men going in were high rollers with pockets full of cash. And police had noticed that a lot more robberies started occurring around this time, and a lot more robberies were being committed by females who were targeting these men going into these strip clubs. Now, as I said, Ray's sister was a really famous dancer in these circles. So she was very well known. She had a lot of respect. So she hears that Michi has also been killed. And now she's thinking, what the hell? Like, what the hell is going on here? She couldn't even believe it. And she said that everyone actually started getting scared, thinking, holy shit, we've got a serial killer out here. Now, Raymond also had a girlfriend. And his girlfriend tells police that she knew her boyfriend Ray was going to be hanging out that night, having a little party, cooking up some steaks, and he did inform her that 2 strippers might be hanging out with them that night, but nobody knew these strippers' names. These strippers were only known as Peaches and Snow. Detectives are like, well, how the hell are we going to find Peaches and Snow? They have no idea where to go, what to do, but badass Carlita, Ray's sister, is like, well, hell yeah, I can help you. She tells police she's going to help with this investigation. She's going to find her brother's killer because, as I said, she is a badass. So she's a really well-known dancer in this community, in these Atlanta clubs. And a few strip clubs, they allowed her to look through their permit books because strip clubs had to have permit books where they kept the permits of every dancer that they had. In order to be a dancer, you had to have a permit. And then the permit would go inside of the book and they would have a record of you. So Ray's sister goes into all of these clubs and she's like, let me look at the permit books. And they do. So she's looking through and she is able to recognize one girl, and she thinks that she has found Peaches. So here's the thing. Raymond was this amazing photographer, right? He was getting all these jobs. All these girls were hiring him. His sister also needed photos, and so did her friend. So there was this one day they had a beach party, and Raymond was to come and take some pictures, but Raymond invited 2 girls, Peaches and Snow. Now, when Peaches and Snow walked onto the beach, his sister was like, hell no, I don't like these girls. You know, she got that immediate vibe, like these 2 are bad news. She just felt it in her gut. She didn't like the way Peaches was acting. And she said she also kind of stood out a little bit because she was taller than all of the other girls. She was about 5'8" to 5'10", but she was so super skinny that it kind of stood out. She weighed about 110 pounds. So she remembered this Peaches girl. And she knew that Ray's girlfriend said that Peaches might be at the party. So she's going through the books and she's like, this is your girl right here, Peaches. But what is Peaches' real name? They don't know because Peaches used a fake ID to get this job at the strip club.
Welcome to a new era of baseball's great spectacle. The T-Mobile Home Run Derby, live on Netflix. The biggest sluggers in baseball put their talents to the test on All-Star Weekend. Raw power meets star power. Big swagger meets bigger slams. And you don't swing to make contact. You swing to make history. Watch the T-Mobile Home Run Derby live on Netflix, Monday, July 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
18-year-old Falicia Blakely, otherwise known in the adult entertainment world as Peaches. Peaches was born to her mother, Betty Ford, in Jacksonville, Florida. And now Felicia's dad left the family really early on, and her mother, Betty, struggled to keep things afloat, to keep the family going. Falicia never knew her father. He was a drug dealer. He was in trouble for stealing. And so her mother wanted to get out of this situation, make a better life for her daughter. So she moved her daughter into her mother's house. So now Falicia is living with her mother and her grandmother. But as she grows, as she gets older, especially into her preteen years, Falicia and her mother do not get along at all. This is an extremely rocky relationship. But around age 16, Felicia's mother gets a new job. She gets transferred to Atlanta, Georgia to start a new career and a new life. And Falicia thinks, you know what? I'm going to go with her. She could have stayed with her grandmother, but she wanted to go with her mother and see if they could rebuild this relationship. So she goes, and it's okay for about a month. But after that, things are just back to where they were. Falicia is dropping out of school. She's not really doing much around the house. She's always out with her friends. And her mother says, quote, she was always in the streets. Falicia decides that she's going to start working as an exotic dancer. But she's only 16 years old. She's a minor. She can't be doing this. But she gets a fake ID. And with that fake ID, she gets a permit to start dancing in a strip club. So she's making a ton of money. I mean, she's 16 and she's banking right now. She's also getting a lot of attention from men, something that she never really experienced, especially having a father that left so young. She loves this validation. She feels loved. She feels wanted, and she is making a shit ton of money. I mean, Falicia starts to become addicted to this feeling. She's getting tons of attention. She loves the validation. She's becoming one of the most popular dancers. And she has pictures of herself on flyers around town. And guess who sees one of those pictures? Felicia's mother. She flips out. She was like, you've got to be kidding me, girl. You are not doing this anymore. And Felicia's like, hell yes, I am. I don't care what you say. I am making a ton of money. I'll just take my ass on out of this house and do whatever I want. And her mother could not figure out how to stop her. She did not want her to leave. So Falicia moves into this motel. And it was an extended stay motel that many of the other dancers were also living in. Meanwhile, Falicia is living up this lifestyle. Her mother is trying to figure out anything she could do to get her daughter to move back home, but Falicia wasn't having it. It's not working. It makes matters worse when 16-year-old Falicia falls in love with a DJ at one of the strip clubs. She's 16. She falls in love with this older man, and this man obviously is taking advantage of her. She starts living with this guy. She starts falling in love with this guy, and about a month into the relationship, she finds out that she's pregnant. And this guy that she thought was so in love with her, they were going to be together forever, he just bounces. Like, he just ghosts the hell out of Falicia. And now she's a 16-year-old who's pregnant, basically a runaway from home. She has no idea what she's going to do. And even as a pregnant 16-year-old, she has to keep dancing. But after a while, Falicia knows, I got to move back in with my mom. I need help. And actually, her mother was excited. She, it wasn't the greatest scenario that they had themselves in right now. Her 16-year-old daughter is pregnant, but she was excited because she thought, okay, if she's pregnant, she's back in my house with me. She's not going to be dancing out there anymore. Maybe she'll stop. Maybe we can change everything. But Felicia's she's not stopping. She's still dancing. In fact, she dances even when she's 6 months pregnant. And while she's dancing one night, at 6 months pregnant, she meets a man named Michael Berry. Now, he's 27 years old. He goes by the name Dino. He's a regular at this strip club, and Falicia feels an instant connection when he walks in the door. She starts befriending this man, and she feels safe with this man. She tells him that she's pregnant and she needs help. She can't keep stripping. She's going to be a mother soon. She has nobody to help her. She won't be able to work for much longer. And Michael tells her that he's going to take care of her. I mean, this guy, he just love bombing rainbows are just pouring from his mouth. He is saying everything that a 16-year-old pregnant stripper that wants to get out of the business wants to hear. He's telling her that he's going to work to make their life the most beautiful life that she could ever possibly imagine. Falicia feels like she's been saved. This is her dream come true. This is her knight in shining armor. She does not know how dangerous this man actually is. These two become an item, and she's aware that Michael has other, quote, girls that he takes care of. Michael's a pimp, and she thinks that it's okay because she's the most special girl in his life. He has convinced her that nobody is better than her. She is his princess. She is the only one that he ever wants to be with for the rest of his life and her life, and he's going to take care of the baby, and he's going to treat that baby as if it is his own. Everything is going great in the beginning, but Michael gets locked up for battery and drug possession, and he's put behind bars. And even when he's behind bars, he's still controlling Falicia. He's having his friends drive her to and from work. He is sending her money to pay her bills. He is still telling her that they are completely in love and that he's always going to take care of her. It gets to the point where she's just completely dependent on him. Even when he's not there, he's in prison, and she's still completely controlled by this man. So he gets out. About 3 months later, he's released, and around this time, Falicia gives birth to her son. She's still living with her mom at this time, but he's now out of prison, and he convinces her to leave her mother's house. She just had a baby 1 month ago, tells her, not only is it time to get back to work, little lady, but it's also time to move out of your mom's house, and now you're going to live with me. So she has to go back to stripping 1 month after having her son. He moved Falicia into a motel. Now, he had many women working for him, as I already said, and all of these women also lived at this motel. And even now, Falicia feels like, okay, but I'm the special one. He's going to be taking care of me. I mean, he's grooming Falicia. She's only about 5 months out of giving birth to her son, moving out of her mom's house and now living with Marcus. And he tells her, okay, the stripping just isn't working. This girl has a 5-month-old baby. He's like, you're not working hard enough. You're not bringing in enough cash from stripping alone. You're going to have to start selling your body. And at the same time, he's also promising her this amazing life, basically saying like, look, it's you and me against the world. If you sell your body, we are going to make so much money so much quicker than we could if you were just stripping. And that would lead to our big dream. We could just run off together and buy a beautiful home and never have to work again. And one of the detectives on the show Snapped says that he sold her a dream. And when he sells her this dream, she in turn would do anything for him. 5 months after having her son, she's now turning 17, and she is also starting to turn tricks. And he is making her believe that this is what she needs to do. Falicia is working at the strip club one night, and she knows that she's going to have to bring home some extra money. So she decides that this is the first time she's going to take a guy into the champagne room and do as Michael told her to do. I mean, she's nervous as hell. They start to get into it, and she asks him if he has a condom. He says no. She tells him he's going to have to go get a condom before they can continue this. And he says, okay, I'll be right back. But the guy never comes back. So her night goes on. It's the end of the night. Bar's closing up. Michael arrives to pick her up from work. And she tells him, listen, I didn't make a lot of money tonight. I did have this one guy. But, tells him the whole story about the condom. And Michael loses his damn mind. Beats the hell out of Falicia in his car right there in the parking lot. Now, this was the first time that he ever did this to Falicia. And from that day on, she knew that she had to make money wherever she could. She becomes a full-time prostitute. And she had regulars. And every time she made money, she gave all of that money to Michael. It is also around this time that Falicia leaves her son with her mother, just full-time. And now she's living at the motel with Michael and all the girls, and Michael amps it up a little bit. And he tells her, you're my top girl, and I want you to start training all of the other girls. And now there's this new girl named Amisha Irvin. You're going to be her mentor. You're going to teach her the ropes. And Falicia agrees to do this. Falicia agrees to rob a man named Frederick Calloway. He was a known drug dealer. Michael tells her that he knows where he's going to be. He wants her to take Amisha to this club, and they are to rob Frederick. I mean, at this point, she's going to do anything for this man. He gives her a gun. He tells her and Amisha to head to Florida and figure out a way to rob this man. I mean, he gives them no direction. He's just like, you go there, you do it, figure it out. You're a big girl. So they meet Frederick. They find him in a club. They lure him back to his room to have sex with him. And then they rob him. But he finds out what they're doing, tries to stop them. That's when Falicia shoots at him twice, and then they run from the room. They decide that they're not going to stay in Florida for the whole weekend, which they were told to do. Falicia doesn't know that she didn't kill Frederick. She shot him and paralyzed him from the waist down for the rest of his life. And he can't identify them because he has no idea who they are. He just met these two girls in a club, took them back to his room. So the girls were never caught. So they feel kind of like, yeah, we can get away with this because we never got caught for that. The only thing is that, as I said, they're supposed to stay there for the entire weekend, make many robberies, but they go home. And when they get home, Michael is beyond livid with Falicia. Why did you not stay? What are you doing? She didn't get a lot of money from Frederick. So this is the night that Michael takes a bottle of alcohol, dumps it all over Falicia. I mean, he beats this girl, and then he lights her on fire. And the thing is that Michael would often beat many of the girls that he had living in this apartment with him, but they weren't allowed to ever go to the hospital. So the girls would always take care of each other. And these girls that lived in the house at the time had to take care of Falicia because she was burned. And thankfully, they were just minor burns, but it took her a couple weeks to get better. Falicia is at the point where she knows there's no way that he is ever going to stop. She's never going to get out of this relationship. She's deathly afraid of him, and he doesn't care. He wants her back on the streets. He wants her making money. And this is when he tells Falicia that she's got to target Ray Goodwin. But the thing is that Falicia and Ray were friends. She really liked Ray, but she knew that she was going to have to do this. It's either Michael or it's Ray, and she's going to have to do what Michael tells her to do, or he's going to kill her. Ray was a good friend to Falicia. She was scared out of her mind, and she wants to please Michael. So that night, in August of 2002, Falicia and Amisha arrive at Ray's house, where he is about to have a party with his friends, with his family, his sister. And Ray already had a friend over, Claudel, aka Doc. So while Falicia is at the house, because obviously Ray lets her in, I mean, these two are friends. While Falicia is at the house, she calls Michael because she's hoping, okay, wait, so Doc is here. We did not plan on Doc being here. We did not plan on Ray having a party tonight. So maybe if I call Michael, he's going to be like, call it off. And that'll just be like amazing because I do not want to go through with this. This is everything going through Felicia's mind. So she calls Michael and he says, I don't care. You've got to do it. You come home with money or you don't come home. You better figure something out. Michael is still on the phone when Falicia raises her gun and shoots Doc in the right temple. And then she shoots her good friend Ray several times. You can still hear Michael on the phone call. He's still listening to everything. And he says, that's my girl. Wipe the place clean and leave. But like I said in the beginning, Falicia had no idea that Doc was on the phone with G. And G was the friend that called Ray's sister, Carlita. Now, of course, Michael is pissed because they didn't get away with as much money as he anticipated, and he is livid. So he sends the two girls right back out. This is when these two girls rob and kill Demetrius Twitty. So Falicia and Amisha, they exchange sex for money with Demetrius, and he has no idea that these girls are there to rob and kill him. So Falicia takes him to a room for sex while Amisha searches the house. But Demetrius, Michi, he knows what's going on. He figures it out and he confronts them. And while doing that, Falicia shoots him and then steals his car. Of course, Michael is happy about this. He knows that he has Falicia under his control. I mean, this girl has now killed for him 3 times within a couple of days. So he knows that she will do anything that he tells her to do. The next day, Michael sends Falicia and Amisha out on a stealing spree. And they're successful. They're robbing restaurants, businesses. They rob a few places. They're really successful with it. And so they think there's no way we're getting caught. I mean, these two think that they're home free. No one has caught up to them yet. But the only thing is that these two are still driving around in Demetrius's car. So it's been 10 days since Demetrius was murdered. These two are driving around in his vehicle, convinced they could never be caught. They're ready to perform their next robbery at this restaurant, but the girls are inside of the restroom at the restaurant, and they're discussing the robbery. They're talking all about it, but there's an employee in there that could hear everything. So this employee alerts authorities to the fact that these two women must be the culprits from the robbing spree that's been going on. And these two get so scared, they try flushing their guns and their weapons down the toilets at this restaurant. But police arrive and they arrest the two women, but they also find Demetrius's car in the parking lot. And they don't even need to bring them in for an interrogation because right away, Felicia's like, I did it. I did it all. I killed them all. I robbed them all. It's all me. And Amisha, she admits it too. Right away, she says, okay, yep, I am guilty. But neither one of these girls tells on Michael. They do not bring Michael's name up. That night, Felicia's mother is watching the news, and there's her daughter's face on the TV. That's how she found out that her daughter was arrested for murder and robbery. So even after arrested, Falicia stands by her man. She's always protecting Michael. She is not letting him go down for any of this. Both girls pleaded guilty to multiple counts of armed robbery and murder, and they were both sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And Michael Berry was never prosecuted for any of these crimes. Lance Gross, who portrayed Michael Berry in the film When Love Kills, he posted on his Instagram page in August of 2017, and he wrote, "Last night I sent an email to Falicia Blakely. I needed to. I needed her to know the intention of the film and why it is such an important story to be told. I reminded her that it won't be easy for her to watch, but may help a little girl who is stuck in the situation she was once in. In doing so, at one point while writing, I was at a loss of words. Many may question why I felt the need to reach out to a woman who murdered innocent people. Because God is the only one that's worthy to judge. Because she was still a child who made a series of mistakes. Somewhere along the way, something went wrong. From my knowledge, she didn't have a father in her life. Her mother wasn't there in critical moments in her life. As a father of a daughter, filming this movie made me question if I am doing everything in my power to make sure my daughter is mentally and physically prepared for this cruel world out there. We are all human and make mistakes. Please don't get it twisted. My heart goes out to the victims and their families 100%. Each decision we make helps shift and mold exactly who we are as beings and what we become. The goal is that we hope and pray we make the right decisions and even more so, the right choices so that we don't harm others along the way. That's why this movie is so important. It can potentially save lives. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and until next time, stay safe and stay paranoid. Residue is created, hosted, written, researched, edited, and produced by me, Chrissy Champagne.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.